Welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today we're talking about Plumerias. Plumerias are a large group of plants originating in Mexico and the Caribbean. I currently have 5 different species. This one is Plumaria Rubra. Plumaria Rubra comes in many colors and many hybrids, literally hundreds of hybrids. They range in colors from white to white and yellow, pinks, reds, and each color has a different fragrance. The care of Plumerias is fairly straightforward. You basically treat them like a cactus. You can use cactus soil. I use a high porosity mix and I add about 20% manure. They are very easy to propagate. You simply take a cutting, allow it to callus over. You put it into the potting mix, water well once, leave it in full sun, and give it lots of heat. Anything over 25, maybe even 30 degrees is beneficial. And during the summer, it does set roots fairly quickly, within 3 weeks to a month. Winter care is very straightforward as well. In our climate, it does go dormant through the winter. It drops all its leaves, and you basically have a plant which is all sticks. There is no growth. It can be stored indoors in any area that doesn't go below freezing. During the winter, you do not water at all. I put all the tall palms against the wall and make room for all the Plumerias, which are going to lose their leaves, and all the tropicals will go in front. In the spring, as daylight hours grow longer, you'll see new growth on the tips. Once new growth starts, you can give it a small drink of water. Once active growth begins, you can water freely. If it's placed in full sun, it will take a fair bit of water so long as the soil is fast draining. What I do is I plant the entire container in the ground. It makes it much easier to lift. Some people do plant it in the ground, basically bare rooted in the spring. But I find there's less stress to the plant this way, and it makes it much easier to lift in the fall. I currently have about 8 plants which I consider to be a large size, and I have about 45 plants altogether, including seedlings. They do germinate readily from seeds. When you grow Plumerias from seed, you never know what color they're going to be. They do hybridize easily. When you see red in the leaf bases such as this, you know the flowers are going to be pink or red in color. A plant such as this, as you can see, is mostly green. There's only a hint of color at the very base. This is going to be a light flowering plant, either yellow or white. Here's a new inflorescence forming. Here's a look at some of the varieties I do grow and some of the leaf characteristics. Plumaria Rubra is a very fast growing plant, whereas Plumeria obtusa is much slower growing. This plant is currently about 6 feet tall and about 6 feet wide. I'm not sure the age of it, but it's got to be close to 20 years. The flowers are extremely fragrant, but in some species like pudica, they are not fragrant at all. This is Plumeria pudica. It has these paddle-shaped leaves. Plumeria pudica is much easier to grow, grows much quicker, and it does flower more reliably. Plumeria rubra does go dormant through the winter. It does drop all its leaves. Now Plumeria obtusa, sometimes called Singapore white or Singapore pink, it tends to be evergreen. This is Plumeria obtusa. It's a much slower growing plant. The overall tree size tends to be much smaller as well. This one is white flowered. It doesn't flower as freely as other species, at least in my case. As you can see, the leaves have a more rounded tip. This plant was seed grown. It goes back to 2001. And it is currently about 25 inches tall. This plant is extremely slow growing, and this species does not like to be overwatered. Once the plant flowers, it will branch where the flower inflorescence was. As always, thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Happy gardening.